The New York Giants defeat the Philadelphia Eagles 34-17 in an absolute stunner on Thursday Night Football. And this was, this was a game, guys, that if you would have said entering the game that the final is going to be 34-17, I would have thought, okay, great. The Eagles finally get back on track. They come off a tough loss to the Broncos on Sunday, in which they blew up, a 14-point lead. The Broncos scored 18 unanswered points. They were down 17-3. Broncos win, 21-17. And just a stunner, man. Just an absolute stunner. That's the let's go ahead and just guys, this was, look, Jackson Dart looked really good all night, I thought. I also thought that Cam Scatterbo obviously looked really good, and Jackson Dart specifically, I thought there were multiple times where he was making plays, he was making high-level plays, he was doing what he had to do to put the Giants in advantageous situations, and it was 27-17, and the Birds were driving, and Jalen Hurts, this can be a toxic conversation with Jalen Hurts. With Jalen Hurts, there's times where Jalen looks really, really good, right? And tonight was unfortunately not one of those nights. He, I thought, was staring down a lot all night, and it unfortunately reared its ugly head kind of at the worst time. And that was not something that anybody wanted to see, for the Philadelphia side. And whenever Cordell Flott intercepted the ball going down the other way, it was very much like, oh man, here we go. It's, the Giants can make it 34-17. They did. Cam Scatterbo was just all night. He was a problem all night. And there are a lot of happy fans in here. There are a lot of people that are excited for the Eagles to have the downfall, if you will. And by the way, if you are enjoying, please like the stream. Please, please subscribe if you're not already. But we're going to get to some super chats eventually here. My biggest takeaway is Scatterbo is a bruiser. I thought Adoree Jackson had really poor effort on the one tackle, which, I know there were a lot of Mad Eagles fans specifically after that play, understandably so. Cordell Flott, huge interception. I thought after the first couple of weeks, all right, let's not panic too much with the Eagles, because they're obviously a very, very good team, and at least they have the talent, obviously, right? If you want to have that conversation now, I think it's a very valid time to have the conversation. Now, one thing I do want to be clear is nobody's, at least I don't think, and I don't think after, this game on a short week, I don't think anybody's going to get fired type thing. But if you want to have the conversation about, hey, look at this team whenever things don't go right, the body language of guys, the defense at times, I know Jalen Carter was out, and obviously when you have a big back like Scatterbo, who he was just, bullying. He was big boy football at times, and he actually got a taunting penalty. And I know Birds fans, I know Eagles fans are a vocal bunch. I think that Eagles fans would agree that taunting call was very soft on Cam Scatterbo. From what I heard on the broadcast was that after he got out of bounds, he kind of got the poor end of that one, where he kind of got like rocked out of bounds. All I heard him say was first down as he was going back to the huddle. Maybe there were some more expletives said that we didn't hear, but guys, this is it. The Birds lose 34-17. Jalen Hurts throws a fourth quarter interception. There's a lot of comments right here. Fake rear end SB champs from Jedi. Let's see here. The problem is KP can't call plays. He don't know how to draw up run plays to open up the pass. Yeah, that's very valid. There was somebody sent me a text tonight. It was very much the text said, "Can Kevin Patullo call anything other than inside zone?" And inside zone is not an explosive run. It's not a run designed to be explosive. It's a run designed to get 4 to 6 yards to kind of 4 yards in a cloud of dust. Let's keep the sticks moving. And this was pretty close to a nightmare for the Eagles. And then of course the Phillies lost. I know, I'm sure there were a lot of people like split screening or maybe you had one game on a laptop, maybe you had one game on the TV because Amazon. It's not exactly easy to go from Amazon back to the TV, at least, because you got to get out of Amazon and then go back into the TV. But guys, this was a really, really tough night for the city of Philadelphia. But for the people that are commenting 2023 repeat, that conversation is very valid right now. Now, one thing that I do want to be clear, we are in week 6. It's October 9th. Look, we still have nearly 3 full months for the Birds to get back on track. There's 3 full months for them to run running concepts other than outside zone. There's 3 full months to get Jalen Hurts into games and for him to operate things more efficiently within the pocket. I thought Jalen, outside of the one drive, the big tush push drive, or the one before the tush push, the 4 tush pushes in a row. By the way, please feel free to comment down below your thoughts on the 4 straight tush pushes. Jalen Hurts did not look good tonight. The Birds had no points in the second half. It was, again, a tale of 2 halves. This time was on national TV for everyone to see. You want to have the conversation? By all means, go for it. Somebody said the scat back has arrived. Eagles tears are delicious. They're speedrunning 2023. Let's go ahead and get into some super chats, by the way. But this was just an all-time bad night, bad sports night for the city of Philadelphia. All right, let's see here. Let's take a look at some of these. We have Leo says, wish the Bears picked up Scat. I don't blame you. I mean, Cam Skattebo is awesome. I was a little lower on him than I should have been in the pre-draft process. But Cam Skattebo tonight very much moved the sticks and let him cook. It was a joy to watch. It was a joy to watch a player maximize what they can do, and good for Cam Skattebo. Golden Spation says, as a Giants fan, I used to pray for times like this. I mean, brother, this was, look, you were 9-25 and 23 and 24, and I'm not going to overreact and say Jackson Dart definitive franchise quarterback, but what I'll say is 22 years old. There were a lot of questions about Jackson Dart coming out in the pre-draft process, and Jackson Dart looked really good tonight. There's a lot of positive things to take away, but definitely enjoy the win. We're not going to get in that conversation right now, but enjoy the hell out of the win. I mean, you deserve it. D. Janasi, always support and appreciate Super Chat. BTA'd by the Giants. Good job, Dart and Cam. You got to respect the sportsmanship, and you call it what it is. Temple Siege, G-Men, let's go. Jackson, insane plays, awesome legs. Cam went crazy. We broke the Turkey's back. Defense had energy even on that garbage tush push. 8-man clock eater. We are so back. Let's go. That's the energy that is the energy that I do want to see from Giants fans, because Giants fans, guys, I've been critical. We've obviously had the conversation about the 2023 draft class with, they had 4 receivers go right in front of them. They take Deonte Banks, who not the player that Jackson Smith-Njigba, Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson, and Jordan Addison have been for their franchises. And Deonte Banks was actually pulled from a game last year against the Birds due to an effort which was not good. But, John Michael Schmitz has obviously struggled at times. But the 2024 and now even the 2025 class with Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo, and by the way, we can't forget Abdul Carter, who could very easily win the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Giants fans, I do want to talk real quick about scheme, and I thought Dable did a tremendous job tonight. I know there's been, look, if you go 9-25 in a span of 2 years, no matter who you are, there's going to be a lot of questions. I thought Dable did a tremendous job on a short week to be able to help Jackson Dart as much as he could against a Vic Fangio defense, by the way, the defending Super Bowl champions, to get the ball out quick, be decisive, and this is all, of course, without Malik Nabers. So anything that you have from here on out is in some ways, the cherry on top. And there was one really big play at the beginning of the game. Lil Jordan Humphrey made one hell of a play to keep the drive alive. And look, the Giants tonight, they played really good football. Could not be happier for him. H. Brazzy, another regular. Appreciate the super chat. He says, all the top 5 Hurts talk is done. I would not disagree. Any Eagles fan comparing, and then H. Brazzy uses a word. People are going to like this. He uses a word that is Any Eagles fans comparing this individual that has been in Paris, some would say, to Lamar, Pat, Josh, Joe, or even Stafford need to seek help immediately. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback. I was not on the Jalen Hurts top 5 conversation before the season, so I was very much that Herbert was better than him, and Jalen Hurts did not play well tonight. But that was, again, that was the word that, I was not going to obviously, say the one word that was within the super chat, but an individual that was, in the city of Paris, France. But anyway, this is, I'll just say this. For the people that, enjoy the loud headlines, tomorrow is going to be your day for national TV, because it is going to be, the Eagles are done. They play a Brian Flores defense next week. How are they going to fare next week? Already, this is, they just dropped, to Bo Nix. They blew a 14-point lead. They get beat by 17 points to the Giants on a short week. And by the way, the Giants were they were touchdown underdogs at home. And this is what happened. So we'll see how everything plays out. And then even for the Jalen Hurts crowd, this game had everything to put down the Eagles. The play calling, very suspect at times. Jalen Hurts, very bad overthrow to Devontae Smith for what should have been an 80-plus yard touchdown. The stare down the entire time from Hurts. Saquon, I don't really think this game is too much on Saquon. There's only so much you can do, especially when you're down in the second half, and especially with the play calling aspect. You have bad quarterback play for a lot of the game, bad play calling for really, the entire second half. The Birds did not look good. They were shut out again. There's going to be a lot of takes. There's going to be a lot of takes, but we'll see. We'll see here. I would say the Giants played well and the Eagles played poorly. I would agree with that. Let's go back to some super chats. Appreciate everyone being in here. And if you're in here, please like the stream. It helps tremendously. Please subscribe if you're not already. Truly cannot say how much I appreciate you guys' support. So just keep it going here. Let's see the other super chats we have. There's a lot of chats tonight. AJ Brown did not look happy. He did not. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. You have now been outscored in the last 6, I don't know what the Eagles scored in the third quarter against the Broncos on Sunday, but you were outscored 18-0. You've been outscored 50, or in the comeback at least, you now have been outscored 52-17 over, since the Eagles were up 17-3 against the Broncos. You have back-to-back games now under 20 points for the Birds. So let's I do want to take a look here at the Birds. Just offense, because this has been a frustrating unit, and the conversations need to be had, because AJ Brown is, he's obviously been, he's vocal on Twitter, and AJ Brown's not going to get traded. It does not make financial sense for the Birds to trade AJ Brown at all. So that's not going to happen. But Devontae Smith, comes into the game 272 yards in 5 games. He's a more talented player than 54 yards per game. AJ Brown enters the game with 194 yards. He's obviously a more talented player than 38.8 yards per game. And AJ did get fed tonight more. Excuse me, sorry, I got to take a drink. But a lot of questions, guys. Daniel says, this is vintage Eagles, one good year, then crumble. Revolving door of OCs can never keep talent because they get poached after good years. That's the cost of being good. Look, I'll just say this. I'll say this for Birds fans, positively. If I got to see my team do what the Birds did last year, you're 2-2 entering the Week 5 bye, and then you don't lose a game for a full calendar year that your quarterback starts and finishes, because Jalen did not finish the one game against the Commanders. That was when Kenny Pickett came in. And you win the Super Bowl, and you have one of the most dominant teams ever, I'd take that trade-off. Just for what it's worth. So I know times are tough right this second, obviously, and Quinyon also hurt his hamstring in this game, and that's definitely, the Quinyon could be something to definitely monitor over the next, because hamstrings, I'll be honest, guys, the longer that I do this and the more that I, just cover the NFL, if you will, hamstrings scare the hell out of me. Knee injuries obviously scare the hell, for obvious reasons. But hamstrings and neck injuries are the ones where you never know, because you could have a tweak in somebody's neck, they're done for the year, and you would never know, because it's not It's not a, like a broken bone sticking out or somebody's arm is completely bent the other way. So for Quinyon to have a hamstring injury, he was ruled out of the game. This is obviously a game you wanted to win. The Eagles are still 4-2. Let's not completely overreact. But, you blew a 14-point lead on Sunday. You definitely wanted to win this game, and the Quinyon is definitely something to monitor. Flow Easy says, Eagles in this inconsistency has to stop. The schedule is only going to get tougher. My Lions won't feel sorry for them. You're right, the Lions. And then he also says the Lions will hang 50. The Lions do not care. The Lions are very much whoever's in our way, we are going to destroy. And the Lions have put up 34 more points in every game since the Packers lost. Since they were kind of, embarrassed themselves in week 1, they've responded well. But I don't have the same confidence in Kevin Patullo that I do in John Morton, and I know Birds fans definitely feel the same way about that. Nesquick says, stunning, it wasn't even that the Eagles beat themselves, the Giants were just good on all sides of the ball. And that, I would say, is the most frustrating part about the Eagles tonight is, if you lose a game like you did on Sunday against the Broncos, okay, you had a big comeback, it happens, you have 1 or 2 of those games a year, whatever, right? But tonight was a different story. The Giants, with a quarterback in his 3rd career start, who, by the way, the Giants had, and I think there's a super chat that addresses this, but the Giants had 5 straight turnovers. They had 2 touchdowns on Sunday against the Saints, then they had 5 straight turnovers. With a rookie quarterback in what was the 2nd start, and by the way, Cam Scatterby right now is actually ripping his shirt off on TV, which is electric, by the way. But to come in and then, 5 days later, or 4 days later, good math, but 4 days later, looks really good, no turnovers, 34 points. Yeah, it's a lot, man. Anthony says, appreciate super chat. I'm so happy the Giants won. This is a huge win for the G-Men. Dart is very special, going to be really good, and the Garden Gnome himself is the next Brandon Jacobs. Brian Burns, DPOY. So there was a tweet there was a photo that I saved from Giraffe Weekend. It was a quote from Becky Scatterby, which is Cam Scatterby's mom. It was a quote, and I want to read the exact quote here because it's a hilarious graphic here. It's a picture of Cam Scatterby with a mohawk, and the quote from Cam's mom says he would put his brother's shoulder pads on and he would run into telephone poles. I mean, that is Cam Scatterby's playing style. So I'm happy for Giants fans. They 100% deserve it, and that's let me see if I can pull the exact. I'll kind of like try and show this to the camera. I don't think this is probably not going to be the best YouTubing, but it happens. So there's the quote. I don't think you're going to be able to read it. Maybe there it is right there. He would put his brother's shoulder pads on and he would run into telephone poles. So you can at least see the and you look at Cam with the mohawk. Like, if I'm being honest, as a 12-year-old, 10, 12-year-old, you knew that was not somebody to mess with. Now, if somebody has a mohawk, like, they're either like really, really bottom of the roster, or they are like, big brute, like, do not mess with me. And that was obviously, since Cam is in the NFL, he was very much on the other end of that. But let's see here. I actually feel completely vindicated from the conversation we had in the DMs. Hurts doesn't get his first letter capitalized. It's that bad. Now, H. Brazzy, I get where you're coming from. I do. And I do recall you DMing me, but it's, my biggest thing with Hurts is there's when the floor with Jalen Hurts, I'm not going to overreact here. I'm choosing the wording carefully here because Jalen Hurts, his peak is last year during the Super Bowl run, and his peak is high. But the floor, when he gets kind of like locked in and not looking at the field in front of him, there were times tonight where Hurts was standing in the pocket and he was just, he was, hopping around. There was nowhere to, he was standing back there for 6-7 seconds multiple times. It's tough. It's tough to watch at times when Jalen Hurts is at his low. And granted, the lows are very few and far between. But Titania, appreciate the super chat as always. Can't be bothered to hate the players of the game. If the tush is pushed, points and losses are losses. Stop them before 2 yards. Outscore them. If it's lame, ban it after the season. I'll be honest, I would be absolutely shocked. And I mean shocked if the tush push is not banned this offseason. Anthony Ramirez. Saints beat the Giants. Giants beat Eagles and Chargers. Yeah, good for the Saints, man. And by the way, the Saints, major credit goes to them. I mean, look, they forced 5 turnovers Sunday. The one thing I would have liked to have seen is the fact that they did force 5 turnovers. I would have liked to have seen more points off the turnovers, but good for the Saints to have the Giants look the way they did on Sunday. Major credit goes to the New Orleans Saints and Kellen Moore for his first win, and hopefully that's a sign of them to come and what they can build on. They have a big test this week against the Patriots, but definitely credit to them. Eagles O-line false starts almost every snap. That's also a part of the tush push that will definitely be discussed heavily this offseason, because there's going to be lots of conversations about how the officials can't officiate the play correctly. And I'm not talking about the result. I'm not talking about, my team can't stop the tush push, so, let me cry. The reality is, when you look at it from the side, the guards are moving before the snap. That is a fact. And that's going to be brought up a lot. So if you're a Birds fan, I will say to enjoy the tush push while it lasts, because I would be very, very shocked if it's not banned this offseason. Atlas, welcome to the members. Appreciate you being a member. Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you Saturday night for Game 5, says D. Janasi. So I have been kind of like supporting the Cubs. I went to Wrigley Field this summer, and that's, yeah. I mean, look, the Cubs, they got out 3-0. Ian Happ at a home run. Was very, very happy for the Cubs tonight. Thoughts on Falele, D-Hop, and 2 firsts for Justin Jefferson? No. No. How about we give you Jordan Addison and a first for Lamar Jackson? How about that? I'm just saying. Speedy, Giants baby, all that hurts. Top 5 talk is dead. All the reasoning they had for Purdy a couple of years ago for people for some reason didn't apply to Hurts in the exact same situation. 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns. The biggest thing with Jalen Hurts, and no disrespect is obviously intended here, but his floor is low. I mean, you saw it tonight. I mean, it's this, and the stat line for Jalen Hurts doesn't, I mean, 24 of 33 for 283 is obviously not a bad stat line, but it's the way that you get there. The numbers for Jalen Hurts don't tell the story tonight, at least how he was played. But that's what I'm saying. The floor for him is low. But all right, the draw play right after Dart went into the tent is a fireable offense. I didn't like that at all. I was very much kind of like Brian Dable. What are we doing here? That was one that I certainly did not understand, and that was one that I definitely do not get behind at all, for obvious reasons. And that was one where, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And then also even within that, I did have a tweet at one point. It was basically that whenever Russ went in for a play. And the only reason I tweeted this, by the way, was because Jackson Dart, I mean, he like jogged off the field. He was not, taking off on the cart and the air cast on the leg type thing. So it appeared that Jackson Dart was fine. But I did tweet after that Russell Wilson is so bad that Brian Dable went into the medical tent himself to see how long Jackson Dart would be out. And by the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, I recommend Football Analysis. But crazy game tonight, man. And by the way, I am wearing a Football Analysis shirt. So I am going to comment, or I'm going to actually pin a comment that we do have. We do have a team, or we do have a store. So if you are interested, that I will, pin the comment. We have there's shirts, there's hats, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts. So if you are interested within that, I will go ahead and comment that, or I will go ahead and pin that if you are interested. So let's see here. Man, as a Bills fan, I'm scared of the Lions now. Brother, I'm a Vikings fan. I've been scared of the Lions for years. I've said it before. They're like the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, where they just have guys. I mean, it's just a laundry list of players. I mean, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes had it was like Santana Moss. Who was it? Santana Moss, Jeremy Shockey, Reggie Wayne, and then even on defense, it was Sean Taylor. I mean, he was a backup. Vince Wilfork was also a backup. Just an unbelievable amount of talent, and that's what the Lions are. I mean, it's David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, J-Mo, Sam Laporta, and then Tate Ratledge very much looks like a guy. Credit to him. Penei Sewell is obviously. I mean, Penei Sewell is. I use this term a lot because it's applicable, but the longevity is obviously that's something that we don't know, and we obviously hope that not only Panay but several other players that are in this tier with Panay, we hope they stay healthy. But Panay still is a Hall of Fame talent. I would actually say that if Panay is healthy for probably another 2 years, that he'll probably be a Hall of Famer. But yeah, I mean, look, I'm with you. The Lions scare me. But anyway, so that is if you are interested in a shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a sweatshirt, a hat, we even have stickers. So you want to place them on your laptop, whatever the case may be, that is now pinned. All right. Let's see here. Super chat from Leo. Appreciate it as always. He says the tush push ban was worded in a way that made it illegal to push a ball carrier at all. Hopefully the league addresses it in a better way. I would be shocked if they don't. I don't get into the conversation of this is 100% happening and definitive, hey, the New York Jets are 0-5, they're done, right? I mean, everybody thinks that, but I would be very, very surprised if the tush push isn't banned. Thoughts on Nick Bonito DPOY? I have some good news for you. We have a video coming out Saturday. We talk about the entire AFC. Nick Bonito is discussed within the video, and he's leading the league in sacks. I'm a big Nick Bonito guy, have been for a while. Very much think he could be DPOY. Very much. Anthony, first Giants win on Thursday night in 10 years. Jesus, man. I didn't know that. Love the content. Thank you. Always keeping it real. Hopefully you will get a Malik Neighbors portrait. Are we talking like behind me? I mean, I have the Jefferson photo, although because of the chair, I have to move the Jefferson photo. So that will get moved at some point. But no, Malik Neighbors. I love all of the LSU receivers in the league. Like the big four. Obviously, Jefferson's my guy, being a Vikings fan, but I like Jamar. He's very fun to watch. Neighbors is electric. BTJ was the second non-Viking jersey I ever purchased. It was the second ever non-Viking jersey I purchased. So I obviously love BTJ. All right. Let's see here. This is just a classic comment here. Finally, predictable first read cream puff check down arm is finally getting exposed. He never was good. Absolutely buns. Broncos broke the Eagles. That is from a Kadarius Toney profile picture. Yeah, I live for the internet overreactions. I live for him, man. I live for him. Let's see here. Random question. Appreciate it, Sorobi. Also appreciate the member and super chat. Favorite pair of commentators? Oh, it's Joe Buck and Aikman. Easily. It's easily. Now, I will say, I love Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen could commentate paint and drying, and I would still watch. I think Greg Olsen is, I think it's, Buck and Troy, and then Olsen by himself as a color commentator is phenomenal. I traded for Dart after Lamar got hurt, and they called me a madman. Good call. It was, if you've ever seen the meme, they hated him because he was right, or they booed him because he was right, I think it is. Good call. Let's see here. Why do I love BTJ so much? I generally like more underrated players, and BTJ in Jacksonville last year was on a losing team. The Jags weren't getting a lot of love, and I also liked him a lot in the pre-draft process. They called him what was it? It was the, not slot merchant, that's what they called Amon-Ra St. Brown. It was like they called him like a fade merchant, because it was 60% of his routes were, it was a whole thing with BTJ. I just always thought he was a player that was underappreciated in the pre-draft process, and then he had 1,200 yards and double-digit touchdowns in his rookie year. It was very vindicating to be high on BTJ last year. All right. Here's a good one. These are the comments, guys. Quote, Fangio retire, you bum. End quote. I mean, I live for the overreactions. I mean, that actually can somewhat be, but Jalen Carter was out. Quinyon Mitchell missed a lot of the second half. But I was going to say, that's, I do live for the overreactions. All right. Let's keep it going here. I'm tired of this team. I'm going to take my fan talent to a team that values winning like the Jets. Love it. All right. Let's see here. I live for the internet overreactions. The guy who said they aren't the same old Jets simply because they hired someone from Dan Campbell's staff. I like that you did. First off, I love the super chat too, and then to emphasize what I said. So let me at least not stand by that. Let me at least explain the reasoning for that. Aaron Glenn, when he was hired, was a fiery guy, a guy that's no nonsense, no BS. And, Robert Saleh last year would go up to the press conference. They'd lose in some, and even back in 2023. Like, this wasn't just a thing last year before they fired Robert Saleh after the Vikings game last year in which they were 2-3. He'd go up to the podium and the Jets would have 13 penalties for 147 yards. They'd lose a game 12-6. And he'd get up there and say, actually, I got to take a drink. I got to take a drink before I actually do the Bob Saleh impression. Hold on here. He'd get up there and just deflect all the New York media. And he'd say, yeah, we got to play better. We got to clean things up. And, we got to clean up the penalties. Not turn the ball over offensively and really capitalize whenever we have the opportunities. And just, he would say the same thing every time. So it would just, it would just, it'd be painting, it was like painting a pig a different color, right? With Robert Saleh. And now everything that transpired last year after that was a train wreck, right? But with Aaron Glenn, I was very much like, hey, this is a guy that can come in, no nonsense. He he played as a Jet in his playing days. He knows what it takes. He's not that Dan Campbell specifically was why I was excited for Aaron Glenn, but it was the culture that he had been in over the past couple of years where it was like, look, times are going to be tough, but from a process standpoint, we're going to do things the right way. And unfortunately the Jets haven't. But it was definitely got to have better execution. Good call. But that's, yeah, that was frustrating. Your Bob Saleh sounds like Belichick. They didn't sound that far off like that in terms of what the message was. But anyway, that was that. Appreciate the Gamma Alpha. Appreciate the super chat or the sticker. We need to bully Garrett Moore for the Jets takes. Look, I mean, whenever you do 32 team previews, naturally some are going to be wrong. $2 for the Saleh impression. I appreciate it. If you want any more impressions, I'll for super chats, I'll do more impressions. But that's no, that was the impression. But anyway, let's see here. Skins retaking the East. No repeat division winner in the past 20 years. Jaden Daniels is the guy. Look, credit to the Commanders, man. They played a tremendous game against the Chargers on Sunday. They really did. They really did. What is on my lip? Nothing. All right, let's see here. Jets make so many mistakes, they annoy me, and I'm a Texans fan. I mean, that is what is frustrating. Is I thought, hey, Aaron Glenn is, we're getting the new culture. We're going to. That was the thing. That was the thing. Is I thought everything would not be fixed overnight, but I didn't think they would have so many mistakes the way that they do, and that was the frustration. Now to get back here, do you think the Eagles are still contenders? That's a good question. Right now, no. Right now, no. However, I think they very much can be by season's end. I mean, we're a third of the way through. They're 4-2. They're not 0-6. They're not 2-4. They can still get back on track. And I would argue that this is the best time that this could ever happen because it's October 9th. It's not January 3rd. We just played week 18. We just dropped our 4th straight game. So they can, but not right now. They're definitely not right now. Not with Patullo. That's fair. That is very fair. All right. Broncos coming out of the next 5 games with a 7-3 or 8-2 record. I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I mean, they play both New York teams in the next couple of weeks. Although the Giants maybe, I mean, the Giants have a mini bye after this. We'll see. That'll actually be a really good game. All right. Let's see here. Comeback Player of the Year frontrunner. I feel like it's got to be Dak, right? Dak would probably be. Probably be Dak. January 3rd will be a Saturday. You get the point. It's like we're not in week 18. We're not in week 18. I did see the overthrow pass to Smitty. My thoughts was it was an overthrow. It was bad. I mean, it was that and the interception summarized the night for Jalen Hurts, unfortunately, for Birds fans. Patullo lasting longer than McDaniel and Dable is crazy. I mean, Dable at minimum has earned himself probably another month unless they get absolutely blown out in like 2 of the next 3 games. Dable has definitely earned himself the next, like, at least another month. Hutch is comeback player of the year. I mean, I would be all for that, especially with what Hutch went through. I mean, that was so brutal. But I mean, it's going to be a quarterback. I mean, it's just quarterbacks are going to win more. If it's a quarterback versus a pass rusher, Dak is probably going to take precedent over Aiden for that, unfortunately. Although I wouldn't be upset if Aiden won it. I'm just talking how the awards generally go. All right. Thoughts on Dart? Played wonderful. I mean, he was, I mean, the only thing that I would say about Jackson Dart that I know Giants fans, they may not admit this, but I know in the back of their head, they definitely think this. Jackson Dart definitely has to work on getting down. That is something that we got to work on. He has to protect himself because that's, he's got to protect himself. I'll just leave it like that. Thanks for being so engaging with the chat. I love your videos. They get me through my workouts. That's very humbling. Of course, I'm always, I mean, look, if you guys, here's the deal, right? If you guys are taking time to, out of your day to listen to me talk about the Eagles and Giants or whatever, the week 6 preview tomorrow or, you know, the week 6 recap on Monday morning, it's the least that I could do to be interactive with the chat. And especially people that send super chats to, I mean, it's the most humbling thing that I could it's just crazy. It's like crazy to, you know, like process, if that makes sense. But anyway. All right. Let's see here. With this Chiefs, AFC is now for the taking, and that's exactly what we discussed in Saturday's video. Is the AFC is completely wide open. So 10 a.m. Eastern, be there Saturday. That's when the video will be released. Please like and subscribe please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But by the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, like I said, please like. It helps tremendously. Appreciate everyone being in here. And like I said, could not thank you guys enough for the support. Steelers can win their division. They absolutely can. I actually right now, I'd be kind of surprised if the Steelers don't win the division based on where everything is right now. All right. Coach of the Year favorite so far. So Coach of the Year is very much based off of like expectations entering the year. So somebody like Sean McDermott is not going to win Coach of the Year, even though the Bills were the last undefeated team. They outlasted the Eagles by a couple of hours before the Eagles lost to the Broncos. Then the Bills lost to the Patriots on Sunday night. I mean, it would take like a 17-0 season. So it's based off of expectations entering the year. I feel like right now it's a battle in the AFC South between Liam Cohen or Shane Steichen. Take your choosing. It would be, you can make a case for either. I'll just leave it at that. Kyle Shanahan also has a good case based on the injuries that they've had to deal with. But all right, I still want a clean sweep for the Giants. Look, I get it. I would too. I mean, especially with the way that you guys played tonight, I would understand as well. When do you start really scouting college players? I would say late November, early December, because most of the games are played at that point. Now, that does not mean that I completely ignore college football and I stumble in late November last year and I basically say, this Cam Ward kid, he's had a good year for Miami, huh? Or whatever. Man, this Travis Hunter, this guy plays both ways. Are you kidding me? This Travis Hunter kid plays both ways? So it's in true, like, I mean, in terms of like breaking down the all 22. Now I have watched some all 22 tapes specifically of Drew Aller just to see how bad it is at times. And some other guys too. Ty Simpson from Alabama, I'm a big fan of, and John Mateer as well, big fan. I've watched more quarterbacks more than anything so far. Just to be frank about it. But in terms of true, like all 22, let's actually type out the scouting reports. Definitely. Late November area is when I really get into it. Now, a lot, I mean, and again, like I said, throughout the season, throughout this time of year, you know, I'll look into guys, see what's up, and obviously, like, I know the big dogs, but, you know, if you're asking for a 6th round sleeper from Western Arizona State A&M, I'm not going to know that right this time of year, just being completely honest. Do you think the Eagles will be like the 2024 Eagles? I think there's a better chance that they are like the 2023 Eagles than the 2024 Eagles right now. But we'll see. It feels so damn good to have a quarterback. Hopefully I can join you in that soon, but I'm happy for you. I'm really happy for you. No, I mean, look, Jackson Dart tonight, I did say this, by the way. Jackson Dart tonight, the way that he played, is how I want J.J. McCarthy to play. Just, improvisation and, the quick reads. And I know Brian Daboll gets a lot of criticism for this. I did mention this earlier. But for the scheme, I know there's a lot of people that are basically like, hey, Brian, if your scheme is so complex, maybe this is on you type thing. And I get it. But with the way Jackson Dart played tonight, with, like I said, the improvisation, the quick decision making, that's what I want to see in a young quarterback. All right. Will Noah Fafita be a better quarterback than Bryce Young? I don't think so. And that is a guy, I do know Noah Fafita. I don't think so. No, and Josh Hoover's also a good sleeper. Good call on that. Good call on Josh Hoover. I do like Josh Hoover from TCU. And by the way, we will definitely have a lot of draft conversation. That will be something that I love the NFL draft. So, all right. Let's see. Your front runner for assistant coach of the year. I'm gonna be honest. Who would it actually be? Let's see. This is like based off of expectations. Jags, Colts. That would probably be up there. I would argue maybe with the Lions stepping in, with both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn leaving last year. That would also be up there. Josh Grizzard, good call, especially with how fast the Bucs offense really took off. Ty Simpson, Dante Moore, two favorite college quarterbacks right now. Dante Moore, saw him in person, really impressed, like his game. Also, really love Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. All right, but that is going to wrap up tonight's stream, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you're not already. Truly cannot thank you guys enough for the support. And like I said, if you guys are interested in merch, we have shirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, hats, stickers for your laptops if you want to get them too. And appreciate everybody being in here. And hopefully you guys had a good night. And if you did not have a good night, then hopefully, if you're going through something right now, hopefully that we, talked ball and got you to not think about whatever that may be for a little bit, take your mind off what you're going through. A couple last super chats. You guys got them in real quick. Nesquick, likelihood that Micah gets arrested for elder abuse against Flacco. That's going to be tough, man. That Bengals O-line with Flacco, triple team Micah, that's going to be tough. We'll break it down with the Week 6 preview tomorrow, 3 p.m. Commanders' final 6 games from Gamma. Appreciate super chat. Broncos, Vikings, Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. Insane gauntlet to go through. Yeah, that's the Steelers last year it was Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals with healthy Burrow, Jamar, and T. So that was really difficult, but that's a gauntlet for the Commanders, man, especially with the Broncos and Vikings defenses and then the Giants defense with the pass rush. We'll see how that goes, but that's a gauntlet. But that will wrap it up, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. And as always, until next time, please be safe. Oh, James got the last super chat. James, I appreciate it. You got it in as we were ending. At long last, New York has something to celebrate other than the Yankees losing to Toronto in horrendous fashion. Look, I'm happy for Giants fans. They have went through a lot over the past couple of years, so they deserve it. Jackson Dart, absolutely. He played his tail off tonight. Cam Scattaboo, very much grown man football tonight. Good for him. But that will wrap it up. So until next time, as always, please be safe and have a great day. Love you guys.